You have done it today, probably before lunch. Maybe you told someone something you probably should not have, about someone who was not in the room. That is gossip, and you should feel zero shame. Scientists believe gossip is one of the most important things humans ever invented. Not a flaw in human nature, a feature. And the story of why starts about 200,000 years ago, before cities, before farming, before writing even existed. Your ancestors lived in groups of roughly 150 people. And here is the problem with 150 people. You need to know who to trust, who cheats, who shares, who disappears when work needs doing. You cannot interview 150 people every morning, so your brain invented a much faster solution. Talk about each other, constantly. This is the world your ancestors navigated every single day, a world with no police, no courts, and no HR department. If someone betrayed you, there was no system to call. There was only your group and their memory. Your reputation was literally your survival. Lose it, and you might lose your place in the group. Being expelled was basically a death sentence. Getting kicked out was the Stone Age version of getting deleted. So information about people was more precious than food. Knowing what your neighbors were up to kept you alive. This is where a British anthropologist named Robin Dunbar enters the story. In the 1990s, Dunbar was studying how primates bond with each other. Monkeys and apes bond by grooming each other. They pick through each other's fur for hours every day. This is not just hygiene, it is social glue. Grooming releases endorphins in the brain of both animals. It literally makes them feel safe and connected. But grooming has one massive problem for humans. You can only groom one person at a time. Human groups got too big for that to work. Dunbar asked a question that changed how we see language itself. What if humans replaced physical grooming with something faster? What if talking about others was grooming, just with words? That idea became one of the most discussed theories in anthropology. Dunbar called it the social brain hypothesis. The idea is this: bigger groups need bigger brains, and bigger brains needed a better way to manage social bonds. Language was that solution. Gossip was its killer feature. Think about what gossip actually does in its simplest form. It transfers social information about someone who is not present. That sounds simple, but think about what that means. You can build a reputation for someone without them even being there. You can warn 20 people about one bad actor instantly. You can organize cooperation without a single meeting. Gossip was the original social network. Studies show that about 65% of all human conversation is social talk. Not news, not plans, not facts, just people talking about people. That number holds across cultures, countries, and centuries. Dunbar found this pattern everywhere he looked. Now, here is the moment where the story turns completely upside down. Most people think gossip is about tearing others down. Dunbar's research found the opposite is mostly true. Most gossip is actually positive or neutral in content. People mostly share good news, funny stories, and warm observations. Negative gossip exists, but it is not the majority of what we do. Think about the last time you gossiped with a close friend. Did it not feel like something was being shared between you? That feeling is real. That is your endorphin system activating. The same chemical reward monkeys get from grooming. You are basically grooming your friends with your mouth. This is called vocal grooming, language as a bonding mechanism. Vocal grooming works at scale in a way physical grooming never could. You can bond with 3 people over coffee in 20 minutes. A chimpanzee cannot groom 3 friends in 20 minutes. This efficiency is part of why human groups scaled beyond 150. Now, here comes the number you will not forget. Dunbar proposed that humans can maintain about 150 stable relationships. This became known as Dunbar's number. 150 is the size of ancient hunter-gatherer bands. It is the average size of villages throughout history. It is close to the size of a typical military unit. It keeps appearing across cultures and across time, suggesting it is deeply biological. Your brain is literally built for a social world of about 150 people. And gossip is how you maintain those connections without burning out. But gossip did something even more extraordinary than bonding. It created the first system of social accountability in human history. If you lied, cheated, or stole, people talked, and word traveled faster than you could run. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm showed that gossip was used to control powerful individuals. Groups used gossip to punish bullies and reward cooperators. It was perhaps the first version of social justice. Not perfect, but functional, and surprisingly fair. Without gossip, there may have been no social order at all. Now we reach the part of the story that might genuinely change how you see yourself. You did not learn to gossip. You were born to gossip. Infants pay more attention to faces than almost anything else. Children begin tracking social reputation in others before age 5. They know who shares, who helps, and who grabs the last cookie. This social vigilance is not taught. It is baked in. Your brain dedicates enormous resources to tracking other people. There is a region called the default mode network. It activates whenever your mind wanders, and it thinks about people. Not nature, not numbers, not objects. People. Your brain is essentially a gossip machine on standby. Scientists believe this is why we find fiction and drama so compelling. Soap operas, reality TV, novels, all structured gossip at scale. Your brain processes fictional characters like real social information. No wonder you feel personally betrayed when your show is canceled. Here is the turning point. The thing that reframes everything. Gossip is not a corruption of civilized behavior. Civilized behavior, laws, norms, institutions, grew out of gossip. Gossip is what happens when brains try to run societies without rulebooks. It is the low-tech, always-on version of the legal system, and evidence suggests it is often more effective than we admit. Research from Stanford found that gossip helps keep groups fair. People who know they might be gossiped about behave more cooperatively. The possibility of being talked about is itself a form of social regulation. You have been policing yourself your whole life, without knowing it. So what does all of this mean for how we live today? We now live in groups of millions, but our brains are still wired for 150. Social media may be gossip trying to fill that ancient gap. We scroll to track who is doing what, just like our ancestors did. The tools changed. The drive did not. But there is a cost to scaling ancient gossip to a global level. At 150 people, false information could be corrected quickly. At 3 billion people, false information travels faster than truth. Our ancient tool is now running in an environment it was not designed for. That tension, between our ancient wiring and modern scale, is everywhere. Understanding that tension might be the most useful thing you do today. The next time you feel the urge to tell someone something about someone else, know that the urge is 200,000 years old. It helped your ancestors navigate one of the most complex social environments ever. It built trust. It punished cheaters. It kept groups alive. It was not weakness. It was civilization's first operating system. Somewhere on a savanna 200,000 years ago, someone leaned over and whispered. And something was built between them that has never stopped being built. That thread runs from that fire all the way to your last conversation. You are not gossiping. You are doing what humans have always done. You are keeping the group together, one story at a time. If you enjoyed that, you will probably enjoy our next one. See you there.